I think that if you feel your feelings, you shouldn't tell yourself you shouldn't feel those feelings. But more, you should ask why you feel those feelings. Like, with me, I always felt guilty with my girlfriend. I always felt guilty that, like, I was expressing myself too much. I was trying to live my life and tell her and catch her up to speed with everything about me. That sometimes I did not give her enough time to talk. And that feeling of guilt made me be quiet and hug her and force myself to listen to her and demand that she tell me things of herself. Even when she says, no, you don't have to. I feel fine. I feel okay. And I say, like, yeah, no, I get that you are a authentic person. I believe her. I believe what she's saying. But I know it of myself that even if someone's authentic, my guilt still persists. So I said, this isn't about you. This is about me. And to quell that feeling of guilt, I'm going to sit here and force you to speak about yourself, your life, your history. You're going to tell me things that, like, even if it's something that I've heard before. And we go on adventures, we go on things. I live as myself, and we have a very great relationship. And I say we're going to continue to grow. We're going to have tough conversations. And it makes me afraid. Will this, because it's a reminder to me every single moment that this could end. Whether it be the relationship ends because we both change, or because of a financial burden, or um, just she develops new feelings. And it's like, I'm going to develop new feelings. I think that we like to be taboo, to be hidden, having these things or thoughts or feelings, uh, we try to deny them instead of letting them breathe. Why are they coming forth? Because the truth is that we're sad about those things. We don't want them to change, but that's the curse. Still water, being stale, remaining the same. Even when we want to, we can't. We have to grow. We have to breathe. We have to move. And sometimes that means growing apart. But that also can mean growing together, stronger, closer. How much are you willing to put in? What are you willing to fight for? People become stagnant when it comes to relationships, or even more importantly, their own emotions. It is a heavy feat being yourself. Saying that this does scare you in a relationship. Being able to not only admit those things, but then live those things. When me and my girlfriend were first dating, no matter how open and how much communication we had, there was still a level of distrust that we both acknowledged. And over time, it got easier as we both saw each other and started to realize like the effort that's needed to put in. And I had to look into myself and say, like, it's not just going to be something simple. What is it that I like? What is it that I want? Is it really with this person? And when I asked myself that question, I was able to start to answer it. Yeah. They started to show me things that made that answer clearer. It wasn't something that could just be, oh, okay, did they do this exact thing? And then I saw it, and then I'm like, they did it, so was it good? Sometimes it was like that, but sometimes it wasn't. Sometimes it's just like, it made me realize, like, what hasn't been done, or what was done to me. Or they could do something that would have triggered me in the past, but no longer. It showed me that I grew myself. Sometimes you do need someone to criticize you, but not to try to break you, as someone done before. The problem wasn't with the criticism. The problem was with the intent. It was life like that. Like I had to accept my own emotions to say that, yeah, what would get me to cheat? What would get me to say that this relationship is no longer there, or I don't feel love for her? To be honest, with some things that seem hello and un, like I guess uninspired. Like to be honest with myself, yeah, if she began to become overweight, would I stay with her? I have to ask myself, like, yeah, it doesn't sound nice. It doesn't sound like this. Oh, I love her in any way. No, there's conditions I wouldn't love her. And why wouldn't I love her being overweight? Well, being overweight and gaining weight are two different things. Like she gained weight. I was like, yeah, no, that's good. You need healthy weight. You need fat. Um, but like if she became overweight, when if she became obese, or even just like an unhealthy amount, I'd ask, when did you stop caring about yourself? When did like, don't you have a love for life? Like if you eat right, you sleep right, you work out right. It's not saying that she's gonna stay a size like whatever she is. I don't actually know. Um, I don't want her to be petite if that's not healthy for her. But I don't want her to grow unhealthy because like then she stops caring about herself. And I'm like, how am I supposed to care about someone that doesn't care about themselves? And I realized that what I said wasn't outlandish. Maybe it would hurt someone else's feelings, sure. But it's the reality, it's the truth, it's the reason. It's because I love her and I'm like, I want you to take care of yourself. I don't need to add a comparison. But I knew that if I said that out loud, like if no one ever let me cook, if no one ever let me just kind of speak and let that exist and be in the air and maybe be uncomfortable, but the reality, um, I would never say it until I actually met my girlfriend. And then I was able to say it and formulate the thought, the reason why, and be okay with it being uncomfortable until it's like, you understand though. Yeah. And she said the same thing. Like what um not the same exact thing, but there are things, are issues that if too excessive, if I become too controlling, I'm a very harsh person. And if I, yeah, no, things that I definitely need to work on. Now, she says it's not a problem now, but what I think that she means is it is a problem, but you are working on it. So I don't feel like it's a problem that's needing to be presented or talked about now. But we're aware of that issue. And she even acknowledges where that issue stemmed from. It didn't just come from nowhere. Years of being forced to be a provider, a leader, even though I'm usually more of a laid back person. That's how she knew me. When did it become like this? And as I tell her more about myself, the hurt comes. Like I didn't want to be any of this, but I had to be. Sometimes it tells a terrible tale, and even if I said all of these things, and she said, "Hey, I can't do this," I have to accept that. I think that yeah, we do need help, but we expect people to hear the story and then be the cure all. I realized with my girlfriend that she can't cure me from any of this. This is something that I have to do, whether alone. It's myself because I can do some things with her. I can work with her. She can help me lift some things, but the mental things, I'm I'm going to have to figure out that for myself. I'm going to have to get comfortable with myself. And she says, yeah, but anything that I can do, I will. And that's nice. And it's basically having somebody wait outside the door to see what new person you are. And then I say, will you give that person a chance? Because like, what does it mean? Because like, I'm not going to be the same person. I'm going to put something behind me, and it still might sting, but it's not going to be the same potency. It's not going to be the same drink. I'm not going to be the same sort of I'm not gonna have the same levels in everything. It's changing, and I do the same for her, because every time we go through an event, we change, we grow, our styles, our characteristics. You want someone to grow with you, sure, but does that mean they have to do the exact same thing? No. See, I told her that there are some things that I could be there. I can give you all the money. I can provide all of these things, and there's things that you're just going to have to solve by yourself. I'm gonna be with you. I'm gonna be there. I'm gonna be around, but I'm still a person. I still gotta focus on me. Just because we're in a relationship does not remove our individuality. And she understood this. I can still do wrong. I can still do bad. It doesn't matter how much time, because time is pointless. I won't say pointless, but it's irrelevant. That if you're wanting to do these bad things, or if you're in this relationship for bad reasons, it's always going to show. And bad reasons could be like you're trying to cure your boredom, or you're trying to give a person a chance that you think is ugly. It'll always break up the relationship, because the fact that I never date anyone ugly. My girlfriend said the same thing. She never will date someone that she doesn't find attractive. At first that confused me. I thought that she did, but she's like, no, you're not. And I was like, you're not to me either. So we were both happy. I believe in her words, and I believe that she believes in mine. The adventures, the love. When I feel bad about something, like maybe I am the a-hole, but is the a-hole wrong? Did everything I say was wrong? Like not only in my relationship, like my girlfriend, but in my family life. Sometimes I could be loud or combative. Sometimes I'm I'm a killjoy. But like, what are you joyous in? Are my complaints unwarranted? Or is it just you didn't like my approach? I'm willing to hold people accountable. The whole point of this is just me saying, don't disguise your emotion. Don't disguise your disgust, your lust, your envy, your hate. But ask yourself, what is it? What is it leading to? Why is it coming to this? I think that all of these things all emotion has reason. And to understand why it's gotten into this what you would say negative connotation, why are you lustful of this person? And what did that mutate into? I remember some things that I even told my girlfriend, like, how did I become this way? My thoughts or feelings. And sometimes I suspect some things, like I could say it in a spiritual way. And things I can't really get into now because they're deeply personal, and I need to save something. But they led me to like picking and choosing her to find her attractive. Like at first, I did a lot of bad things. I was lusting after women. I was just like, that's what I'm supposed to do because that's what my stepfather, that's what my father told me to do. And I said, I was doing what they said. I knew it was wrong, but I didn't have any other guidance, any other way. So I did the only thing that I had there. And when I found out it was bad, and I understood and respected it was bad, then I had the strength to do something else. Because if I never tried it and never confirmed that it was wrong for me, I would have returned to it. Because I didn't want to have this mindset or this idea that they were right or I was wrong. I had to eliminate what I thought to find out and become something new. Because if I even had an inkling that they were correct, it would have plagued me. It had plagued my relationship. I would have said, "Oh, they were right. They were right. They were right." I would have hated myself. It wasn't the most comfortable, and maybe there was another way, but that was the way I chose. That's the thing that I suspect with myself. I'm not trying to avoid the consequences. I'm saying that charge me for what I've done. But that's why I did it. And if that's how it is, if you still find me disgusting or you don't agree, then fine. Because it's not for you to say yes or no. That's what it was. It's me telling you what I suspect it was with me. And the reason why things get a little hazy for me is because like I'm no longer that person anymore. Like even if I wanted to, I think that it's hard to acknowledge that you're not that person anymore. The same way like people want to be kids in a positive way. They want to exist as that person. They want to go back to being like a size 6, but they can't. They want to go back to being 8 years old or 10 or having a person back in their life. Well, do you think that there are things that you, even when you did something bad and you want to avoid, the moment that you keep trying to avoid it, you still kind of are that same person, a person that avoids consequences, that avoids wrongdoing. Maybe you're not that bad person anymore, but you could still be a different bad person. That's a hard pill to swallow there. Being a different bad person, building a habit of doing bad things. I think it's like handing off a baton or tools and saying no one taught me these things, no one showed me this way, but understanding that you can show yourself the way, that you are the adult that would have helped yourself as a child, and you are the adult that would have helped yourself as an adult, that you can still always help yourself by building a reputation or a mindset of knowing yourself, of understanding yourself, your history, your thoughts. Like I always wanted to be kind of like that anime protagonist, like that guy that's it's like I'm for my friends, and my friends stand behind me. Ugh. And it's I always wanted to be, but I never fully wanted that life because then I realized that the family wasn't always there. I guess I always liked the slice of life because the moms or dads or the people would be there, but they're not always fully there with the life. But they do recognize when there's differences in their sons or daughters, their children. And sometimes they say advice or they get down themselves and they do affect their children. I think that I've always just found attractive the subtleness, the changing of the story, the time progression, because it felt both natural and the flow. That you could see that everything that they say at the end was what's true about them. You can see it in their characteristics, even their style of how they dress and how they wear their hair, or just how someone had influenced them all the way back from episode 1, even if it's on episode 30. I wanted to make stories like that teach people, that show people myself and what I've learned. I always like to be that good student. I think that the thing that is with me right now is that I'm on the transitional period, for I'm no longer a student. No, not simply, not that I can't be, but I'm progressing to be a teacher. And because of that, I still haven't, done my chops. Uh, well, I'll say I've done some of those, so I deserve the respect of that. But have I completed all of those? No, there's still something left. I know, but that is for the journey to decide. I think that I am. I'm still a teacher student. I'm a student teacher. I think, or yeah, teacher student. I don't know how that goes. I could teach people their thing, just in a slower bar, and I have to pass them off. That I can introduce people. Maybe I start at a lower level, but then I can go higher. But I have a very practical, a very human thing. They're recognizing that, like, it's not this degree or the acknowledgement of a government or institution, but the people um, that are in it. And I'm trying to do it to an entity that isn't really mine, like it behind a camera. That's why I'm not really so comfortable. That's why I don't look, because I don't see the faces, the crowds. I can't shift. I can't. I can't see what they need. I'm staring at myself, and what I need is other people. I've always needed someone else, because like the strongest man in the world can lift everything and anything, can run as fast, but if he has nothing to compare it with, he might as well assume he's the slowest. What is the point of being this great or grand if you don't know if you are? Telling yourself that you are number one. Well, yeah, I'm the only one. I've seen both positive and negative, and now I question my own existence. But it's the very fact that others are there that know that if I'm really great, then I deserve to be in that position. I'm going to work my hardest, my best to be in that position. That's a game. I'm just proving myself to be a good player in it. Because, like, I don't need someone to praise me. I need people to acknowledge me. And whatever I am, they can acknowledge that I've done it. And when I do the work, if I'm given the chance like I'm supposed to, and I turn my life around, then it's acknowledged, and it's accepted, it's forgiven. When I ask for forgiveness and I do the steps, then I'm expecting to be forgiven. The problem is people say the words of apology but forget that the words are just the first step. It's the action that's next. Saying I'm sorry does not absolve you of the sin. If someone accepts the apology, first of all, you should never accept an apology unless you see the effort that is done. And sometimes you can see that synonymously with just the words alone. But if someone just says I'm sorry and no action is done, then the apology is empty. They'll do it again. And if they do it to someone else but they never do it to you, then they are not sorry to you. They just so happen to know that if something were to happen, then people would catch on to their wicked ways. That is why you're forced to be kind of their guardian, I guess. If you're sorry, then I hold you to, I guess, to consequence because I love you. I guess I feel it the same way. And I'll leave it on this. I feel that my girlfriend is much the same way. She sees that I have potential and forces me to do it. That's why she showers me with love. Why she tells me to do this, to keep going. Even though like I could sit there in a defeated way and say that no one gave me a chance and there's nothing I can do. She says, no, you're doing good. You're doing great. And I can no longer sit there and say that there's no fan, that there's no one that loves me. It's hard to sulk in absolute despair when you literally know there's no absolute. It's hard to kill oneself when they know that they have friends and family that truly love and adore them. That people would miss their life. For me, I wish. I can't wish because why waste a wish? My cousin Kessie, he had killed himself. And because of that, I've learned a lesson to tell people that I love them. The last thing that I ever said to him was that I love him. And I still do. I miss my cousin, so I make it a point to make sure that I hug and hold and kiss. And that has become so synonymous with my personality that those around me know that I'm a very affectionate person. It forced me to break out of my cold nature, which I'm usually at, that is also known about me. I miss him. But my girlfriend knows that when I hug her, kiss her, it's not to sit there to stop her from doing anything. I can't do that. I can't fight that battle. There will be days where I say I love you, I hug you and kiss you, and it still won't stop you. But at least I know this, that you know. And it's your choice to use that. Because like the guilt or the pain won't be on me. I sit there and I'm glad that that was the last thing I ever said. I love you, cuz I'll talk to you later. Because he knows that if he called me, I would have said whatever. I would have drove. I would have done anything. Maybe I wouldn't have. But the person I am now, because of his sacrifice, I would. That's what made me the man that I am today, and I'm glad to be. And then because of that, I realized that sometimes I could be taken advantage of, and I figured out how to recognize when I'm being taken advantage of and when I actually am. But you can't take advantage of a good man. You can realize that you might not be serious about it, but I'm still going to show you that I care, even if you're lying, because a joke is 90% of the truth and 10% something else. A diversion. I understand that. I guess I'm tired. I've been doing this all morning. Can't even look in the camera's face. It's just because I want to do this forever. But not this. I want to be someone that can tell people to their face what they need to. Have a response. Hear questions. I dream of sitting there in just something comfortable. Stage lighting. Sitting back. And then, like with a piano, something nice, like one of those talk show hosts. And instead of it just being a giant commercial, I just ask them what they want. What do they need? Why invite people to force to laugh? I want them to laugh organically. I want to sit back and just listen to other people become hosts or inspire their dreams. I don't care if it's some cheap set. If I gotta do it outside my own house, sit on my lawn and hear the people talk. The sun will be my stage. The light that I'm not supposed to look at directly will still sometimes peer over. I see it all. I used to love those peanut commercials. The Peanut Show. Like the Boondocks and the Peanuts, the Peanut Gallery, whatever it's called. Charlie Brown in it, all of them. The piano was always so nice. It always gave me time to think. Sometimes I didn't want to speak fast, I just wanted to think about what I was going to say and say it. And it was nice to say it not in a high-speed way or manner. That I got to like picture things in my mind, what it meant. Seeing doors or windows, fabrics, just what it meant to me. I think it's high speed and it always wants focus, but I sometimes, no, I want to disassociate. I want to stay here, but recognize that I'm just looking at the past, thinking. To disassociate means to know that one's not here, or to try to force one not to be here. To be hyper focused is to be very hyper aware that one's here. But I like to think, to know that I'm here, but I was also there, and where will I be after? To think is to be both past, present, and future. To be everything. To think of oneself, to have the dreams that I had when I was a kid. When I knew of something's existence and envisioned myself being it. And in what way could I be? To be excited. To think once more. To remind myself. What does it mean to be it truly? Hopefully one day I can be that. And I don't have to be so afraid about holding everyone else and having them live their dreams. That I know that they can. That's why I'm living mine. That's why I'm trying to live mine. To show them that they could live their own dreams. Trusting myself that I've done a good job of raising them. Of giving them the opportunity and chance, that my words were enough to take away the training wheels and to learn how to ride the bike myself, or to ride it like I did when I was a kid, because I still am. I'm trusting myself to put this effort in. That's why I'm doing this. Because I'm trying to put the effort in. What does it mean to put the effort in? It's just to know that I'm going to keep doing it until I win. So I can get the inspirational story that inspires someone to continue to cycle, push the wheel. I want someone to aspire to get to happiness as I am doing now. For happiness is not a stagnant place, but a place that only can be done with effort and time. How much it is to each and every person and each and every event. But there's always happiness to be found. And sometimes it's not by a movement but lack thereof. Sometimes it's patience, and sometimes it's effort. There's multiple ways to get to it, and each way is the person or user's choice. And I'm showing them that they could succeed because I could succeed. That I had bestowed onto them the knowledge of how to succeed, and if they knew me and knew who I was, they could follow the footsteps, or they can understand within themselves because I acknowledge them as successful. Just what do you want to succeed in, and what are you willing to shed off to get to that succession? And me, I guess I'm a very greedy man. I'm willing to put something or take it away or walk away from something knowing that I would get it back in full. I am like Job, that nothing is owned to me, nothing belongs to me. So I've lost nothing and gained nothing. So I have everything. For if I have never had or lost or known, then I have everything. For God is nothing and anything, everything. And what I mean by God is not in this religious, but spiritual. But the more you know of me, you will understand my version of God, the version of God. Knowing what I mean. Hopefully one day I could teach people about myself. With that being said, I'm done.